Hello and welcome to Surrey Library's Nature Walks and Crafts session. My name is Amanda. I like to go for walks in the countryside and I'll be posting news from my walks and inspiring you to take part by going for your own walks and making some crafts inspired by the countryside. Recent events, COVID-19, has meant that many of us can't get out to do the things we enjoy. But many people are rediscovering the joys of walking in the countryside and looking at nature. We have noticed the increased birdsong, partly because there's less noisy traffic around and because most of us are at home so much more, and partly because we're getting out for walks more. The birds have certainly thrived in this new environment. Now that we're travelling less far for our exercise, many of us are discovering what is on our doorstep. Surrey is a very beautiful county. We are lucky not to have to travel far to get into the countryside. If you aren't sure where to walk, you can get some ideas from Explore Surrey's Countryside, which is on the Surrey County Council website, and from books and ordnance survey maps, which are available from Surrey libraries. This month, I've taken a number of walks on the outskirts of Guildford, where the fields and woods are crisscrossed with footpaths and bridle paths. I've downloaded an app called BirdNet, which records birdsong, then analyses what you've recorded, and will help you to identify the birds you hear on your walk. Over the month of January, I've heard crows, jackdaws, magpies, blue tits, coal tits, greenfinches, robins, jays, great tits, house sparrows, and even a tree creeper. Every year, the RSPB, that's the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds, ask everyone in the UK to take part in the Big Garden Birdwatch. This is a day when everyone helps to count birds by spending 1 hour tracking the birds they see in their gardens. Perhaps you've taken part before. I don't usually see many birds on the Big Garden Birdwatch Day, as my garden's very small and I live on the corner of a busy road. But this year I'm more hopeful, and I'm also planning to do something to try to encourage birds to visit my garden. I'm going to show you how to make a pine cone bird feeder to hang on a tree or a hedge in your garden to encourage the birds to come and visit. So, to make your pine cone bird feeder, you will need some pine cones, some string or garden twine, some lard or beef suet, some bird seed, and some berries. I've got some hips here, and you could put a little bit of dried fruit in, and possibly even some grated cheese, just a small amount. You will also need an apron, a pair of scissors, a bowl, a long needle, and a skewer. So, to make your pine cone feeder, first take your length of string and tie it round the middle of one of the fir cones. So that's tied on securely. So next you might want to tie a bunch of rowan berries. I don't have any rowan berries, but I do have an apple, so I'm going to use that. So to string your apple, first take a skewer and make a hole through the centre of the apple. And just wiggle it about a bit to make a big enough hole for your needle to go through. So thread your string and push the needle through the apple. There we are. So now we have a pine cone and an apple. So now we want another pine cone. So again, tie the string around the middle, and then take another pine cone, and tie your string around the middle of that. There we are. So now you've got a string with 3 pine cones and an apple. So now this is where the fun starts. Take your bowl with your lard and then add your bird seed and any berries or fruit that you may have. Mix everything together using your hands. It will be messy, but it's lovely to squeeze the lard through your fingers, and it's so much more fun this way. Then, when you've mixed all the things together really well, you need to press your mixture around the fir cone. So let's just mix that together. It's a nice squidgy mess. So take the fir cones that you've threaded onto your string and just press the fat mixture round your fir cones. That's the first one. And there's the second, and just keep going until you've done all 3 fir cones. Now, it is a very messy job. You'll have very greasy hands at the end of this, so have a tea towel ready to wipe your hands on. So once you do start feeding the birds, do keep up a routine. The birds will continue to visit a place where food is regularly available. By feeding the birds year round, you'll give them a much better chance of survival. I will mention that homemade fat balls do go very soft in the winter, and they're really not suitable for putting you in your garden in the warmer days of spring and summer. So they're more of an autumn and winter feeding tool. So birds need high levels of saturated fat, like the raw suet and the lard that we used. Don't use margarine or cooking fat, they're unsuitable for birds, and they need food during the cold winter weather to maintain their fat reserves, to keep warm and to survive the frosty winter nights. Only use the good quality food and scraps. If you're not sure what to put out for birds, look on a reputable website such as the RSPB. Their website has lots of tips on attracting birds to your garden, and they have pictures to help you identify the birds that you see. So now that our pine cone bird feeder is ready to hang on the tree, we need to find a place for it in the garden. So choose somewhere in your garden about 5 foot, that's 1.5 metres above ground level, so that cats and other predators can't reach. Choose somewhere where there's some foliage nearby so that shy birds can hide between feeding. There, now you've hung your feeder in your tree, you can watch and wait and see what birds come to feed. Now that we've hung our feeder in the garden, we can keep watching to see what birds it attracts. Perhaps make a note of the birds you see in your diary. Do your garden visitors change over the year? Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoy making feeders to attract birds to your garden. We'd love to see the photos of your pine cone feeders that you make and any birds that you see. So please do post them on social media. For more ideas on great walks, you can reserve your books from Surrey Libraries. And for more craft ideas, follow Surrey Libraries on Facebook and Twitter and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you and goodbye.